Previously during the investigation.
I'm Kaysen, Forrest Kaysen.
Thomas, did you see Nick here?
No. When I got here, he was already like this.
What are you doing? Get out of the way! I'll do it!
George, stay back. She's trying to speak.
No! It couldn't be! Nick? Oh, please, no!
You got us good this time, Zach.
Hello and welcome to my playthrough of Deadly Premonition. This is episode 20, and let's get right to the car conversations with Zach.
There was another really bad one around this time of year. 3 years ago. Remember, Zach? Yes, that's right. That one. Multiple homicide, same MO, across Utah, Colorado, and Missouri. The victims were all average married housewives. But after being run over so many times by a car, they didn't look human. 5 victims in 2 months in the 3 states. The way he killed them was always the same. But aside from that, there was nothing that linked the victims together. Well, they were all married. But age, race, nothing else matched up. Tire marks and fragments of paint ID'd the car that was used. That's where things got really tricky. The perpetrator used a 1993 model Cadillac Elante as a weapon. It was registered in the name of one Senator... No, I'm not feeling talking about this anymore. That senator's basement. I wish I could forget what I saw there. Let's focus on the case at hand. The murders with the red seeds. Officially, the Bureau has not made a statement about these seeds. Some even claim that they are irrelevant to the killings. But after the red seeds were found in a Boston homicide, I've been unable to get them out of my head. I've even gone through all of the files looking for similar cases. And we found 7 other homicides related to the seeds. The victims were all young girls. And they were killed in 8 different states. They arrested all 7 murderers, but there was no connection between them. However, we must not overlook there was one thing linking the cases together, and that's the red seeds. And I have a hunch this case here in Greenvale is going to lead us to the truth about those seeds. Don't you think so, Zach? Well, let's just do what we can do and do our best. And by doing our best, I'm sure we'll get to where we need to go.
Okay, here we are at the A&G Diner. Let's check in on Nick and Olivia. If you remember correctly, we were talking to Olivia before we went to Becky's house, and Nick was, missing. But first, since we're a little hungry, let's go ahead and treat ourselves to a nice big fat T-bone steak. Sounds like York enjoyed it. Yeah, I think we deserve that after our little foray at Becky's house. But let's go ahead and see how Olivia's doing. That's suspicious. Good thing about that is we're going to be trailing Nick and Diane here in a bit. So let's go ahead and meet up with the sheriffs. Right outside the bar.
Nick's still in the bar.
Just as we planned, then. I wonder what happens next.
Agent York, you're really enjoying this, aren't you? I have to admit, I envy that.
What about Diane? Emily, check that with George.
George, can you hear me? Nick's leaving the bar. What's happening with Diane?
Stay put, George. I'm thinking Nick will head to the gallery. Let's meet up there.
Agent York, it's Nick.
Sorry to keep you waiting. Let's go.
Okay. Time to play with the big boys, Nick.
Okay, now, with all the sheriffs in tow, well, Thomas and Emily at least, we have to tail Nick. Now, there's not much difficult here. It's pretty much just following him. You have his name on target the entire time. You have to stay between about 50 and 100 yards. The color of the counter should be blue. If it goes to yellow or orange, sort of an orange-yellow, it's a signal that you should either speed up and get closer or slow down and put some distance. I actually didn't like this segment because it goes on for a bit longer than is necessary, and it's just Nick. It's not like it's a dangerous person. I know that, you know, police work isn't always entertaining, but there's really nothing here. It's Greenvale. It's just a small country road. So, while I'm here, I'm going to talk about some of the inspirations about Deadly Premonition while I track Nick. Deadly Premonition was heavily influenced by Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks is an early 90s sort of cop drama by David Lynch. You can find it on Netflix right now, actually. I recently just started watching it, and I have to say, as I'm going through, I can definitely see the parallels. Similarly to Twin Peaks, similarly to Greenvale, Twin Peaks is a small town that has a dying logging industry. Well, in Greenvale, the logging industry is actually already dead, and Twin Peaks, the logging industry is just starting to slow down. The main character is an FBI agent with some quirky behaviors called Dale Cooper. Dale Cooper speaks into a recording device to a woman named Diane, but that's his secretary, and his secretary actually does send him stuff a couple times during the show, so it's a bit less. I mean, Zach is similar, but Zach seems to be purely in York's head, and Zach seems to have a bigger role in the story, at least according to York, than Diane does. Diane's mostly just to provide Dale an opportunity to exposit a bit. Similarly, Cooper joins forces with the local police force, the sheriff's department. I don't really notice any parallels between members of the sheriff's department and Dale and the sheriff's department in Greenvale. Whereas I noticed there's definitely some big similarities between Dale Cooper and York. Like the love of coffee, for instance. Both of them say at some point, you know, they praise the coffee and they request coffee specially done. Sorry about that. Unlike his relationship with the sheriff's department in Greenvale, Dale Cooper actually gets along pretty well with the group in Twin Peaks. For instance, his best friend is the sheriff, who would be analogous to George, except they're completely different. The sheriff in Twin Peaks is friendly, warm, opening, and the sheriff's department doesn't really look at Dale Cooper as if he's odd. He fits in a lot better in Twin Peaks than York does in Greenvale. I'm not sure why, if that's because the time frame is different or what, but Dale Cooper is a weirdo. But he's not as weird as York in some ways. York seems more like a pariah in a way, whereas Dale Cooper seems just like he's innocently strange. But both of them are brilliant investigators. And both of them work for the FBI, solving the murder of a young girl who seems to have some similarities to another previous murder. With Dale Cooper, it is a letter that is shoved under the fingernail. And with York, it is the red seeds. The most similar parallel I found was the log lady in Twin Peaks, who is sort of like Sigourney, the lady with the pot who talks about how it's always worried about getting cold in Greenvale. Whereas Sigourney doesn't seem to have much of a point yet. I mean, I'm not very far yet in the game. At least not at this point when I'm recording. Oh, here comes a cutscene. You know something's gonna go down.
We'd all have halos by now if I was driving.
I think someone's putting a curse on all the cars I drive recently.
Agent York, Nick's getting away.
Don't worry, time to get serious. Hold on, you two, this might get bumpy. Is Nick here? George?
No, he hasn't showed up here.
What about Diane? Any movement?
No action here at all. Did something happen?
Yes, a little. But George, something's different about you. Are you okay?
Actually, I had a little drink while I was waiting. This is my first murder case, after all. I'm on edge, and I needed one. It was only a little, though. I'm still in control.
Zach, Nick and Diane are probably both inside.
George, you're sure you didn't see Nick?
Positive. I haven't taken my eyes from the entrance all night.
Not that I don't trust you, George, but I'm positive Nick is here. Is there another entrance?
Not that I know of.
Well, I'll go look for one. Help me out if you can, would you?
Before we get started on searching, I want to finish that point I brought up. Sigourney doesn't seem helpful, whereas the log lady in Twin Peaks actually does provide some plot direction. Now, look at the sky here. Yeah, see that? It seems like we're in the negative zone right now. The negative world. And you can sort of hear that sound when the shadows are nearby. Let's go ahead and check in on Emily and Thomas before we search around. You know, I think they missed an opportunity here. They should have given York a trench coat or something instead of this little FBI thing with the hood. I don't know, it seems like... because Cooper wore a trench coat. We can sleep here if we want. But it looks like there is in fact a wraparound, so... Oh, red vines? Oh, there we go. Shadows. I'm kind of curious what would happen if you trained. I guess you should mostly use the submachine gun for body shots, because you're not hitting the head from that distance with that thing. I don't know why I'm carrying the 9mm pistol anymore either. I mean, it's not like I'm going to use it. Let's go ahead and check this door real quick. Nope. Maybe there's another way around. Here's one problem with the way the bodies decay. They sort of stay there for a few seconds afterwards, keeping you from actually picking them up until it dissipates. But this only seems to happen over items for some reason. Like, it took me quite a bit of time to get it to where I could pick up that bandage. This is one of those areas where the shadows are just going to respawn continuously. From what I can tell, that is signified by those little black smoke clouds around there, rather than little portals. No matter how many times I shoot these guys, not sure where I grabbed the auto bullets. Every time I shoot these guys, they're gonna respawn. So this fog is present in all of them, or if this is just the first time that it's been light enough for me to tell that there are. I mean, you see these little puffs of shadow right here, right? I don't know if that's present in every level that the shadows show up, or if it's just present where they're gonna spawn infinitely. I know that guy has a torch, but he's not a new type of shadow. This is also the brightest of the shadow sequences we've had. No, this guy has a torch. I just want to see if he actually drops it. Which he doesn't. So I guess they're just a strange brand of melee shadow. Anyways, no point in staying here. Hey, an onion. Good thing about this onion as well, which you'll just see it in a blink if you miss a moment. It pops back up, so it's one of those infinite respawning foods in case you're running low. The Daily Reporter has gone up. It was like 14 originally, and now it's 34. Oh, red motes. That's the way we're supposed to be going. Took 2 shots with this Magnum, whereas they usually only take... Wait, no, 3 shots. Or they usually only take 2 body shots with the Magnum. Going through this barricade here. Yeah, see that? She fell down, but she didn't die. My aim is terrible today. But looks like they stopped right there at the barricade, so... I guess it's 3 body shots and 1 headshot will kill these guys. Since it doesn't appear they'll step past that barricade, we can't bring them to the cops and see how they'll respond. Looks like this is infinite spawning as well. We'll just have to go ahead and run past them all. It's not good for long-term stealth, but it is good for just like grabbing the ice axe or getting the attention off of you for a few seconds. That is holding your breath. Bit stronger than most gates, but we got through it. Yeah, I guess this is just the first time it's been light enough to see the black fog. And that it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be infinitely spawning them, even though that's been the case so far.
Emily, I want you guys to...
Wait out here, I know. I'm not gonna fight you about this anymore. But promise me this. If there's trouble, then you'll call us in, okay? You might not think so, but we're a team.
A team?
That's what I think, at least, and I'm interested in you and Zach. I don't want anything to happen to you before I hear more about you two.
Sounds like she wants the D, if you know what I mean. Anyways, that brings us to the end of episode 20. Thank you for watching, and have a good day.
Zach, did you hear that? She wants to know more about you. Isn't that a nice surprise? Amazing.